On YouTube, welcome back to another video. We have another comparison video for y'all today. First off, just wanted to say thank you for all the new pack members and subscribers. We hit over 1,000 followers, or subscribers, I mean, not followers. But welcome everyone, and now our goal is moving all the way up to 10,000. So to help us get there, make sure you hit like and subscribe if you're new. And without further ado, let's get into this awesome comparison between these two herding breeds. Look at these two cuties. All right, we're gonna go over to the AKC website first. Like I said in my last comparison video, this is kind of a great place to start for just high-level overviews of different breeds and comparing them. So we're gonna check out the Border Collie first. Their three adjectives they used to describe them were affectionate, smart, and energetic. They generally weigh between 30 and 55 pounds, similar life expectancy, similar size to a cattle dog as well. They tend to be taller and leaner than cattle dogs, whereas cattle dogs can be a lot stockier. But you know, that hair on Border Collies with that little bit longer coat kind of makes them seem larger than they are, but they're very light framed dogs. The ones that I've met are very agile, very light to pick up if you wanted to pick them up. So kind of going down their list, just checking out their breed traits and characteristics as AKC describes them, and then I'll kind of go over my experience with the ones that I've met, because we have a family friends with a couple, so I've been around them. Very affectionate with family. I think that's pretty common throughout the breed. Any herding breed isn't super ideal with young children, in my opinion, just because they tend to nip. You know, not all of them, obviously, and you can train it out of a lot of them, but I mean, it's not going to be like a very tolerant, soft-mouthed lab for kids. So something to keep in mind, but take that with a grain of salt. There are obviously herding breeds that are great with kids. So good with other dogs. They're going to be similar to cattle dogs with other dogs. If I don't normally go to the dog park, but if I do, the Border Collies there aren't really trying to play with other dogs. They just want to play Frisbee. You can see down here in this video, they just want a job to do. They are not interested as much in playing with other dogs, in my experience. My family friends have two, and when Cowboy wanted to play with them, they just wanted me to throw the ball for him, and they were ignoring him. They were all business, so very playful, but they want to play with their people and have a job to do. So I think that's kind of enough on this. Physical, yeah. Okay, watchdog, that's something I always kind of look at, and you know, I think they're pretty good watchdogs. You know, they're very small dogs, so they're not going to necessarily do a lot of, I mean, did you see this lady picking him up? He's very light. So they're not going to do a lot of damage per se to an intruder, but they will definitely let you know that something's up. So they are very smart, very high energy. I mean, look at this, guys. They're just topping out the charts at all of these levels. They're just a very intense dog. I mean, barking level, they bark a lot more than cattle dogs in my experience. They basically take everything up a notch. So let's go check out the cattle dog really quick, and then we can kind of talk more about my experiences between the two breeds. So cattle dog, same thing, between 30 to 50 pounds, 12 to 16 years. That's pretty on par. They're both rather healthy breeds, I would say. Not a ton of health issues. Very hardy, very tough. I would say that cattle dogs are a little bit more durable, just because of their bone structure is a little thicker. Like I said earlier, they're stockier, so cattle dogs might be able to take a kick in the head a little bit better, but nonetheless, they're both pretty scrappy ranch dogs, so they're both very tough. Both, again, high energy. Barking level, HEELERs are a little bit less, actually a lot less according to them, although Cowboy does bark a fair amount. They're both up there really high with mental stimulation needs. We can kind of check back with this family level. Cattle dogs are a little bit more independent, which I would have to agree. Similar as far as playing with other dogs and stuff. That really comes down to training more than anything else and socializing when they're young. Coat was a big factor for me, guys. Like I said in my video with the Australian Shepherd, you know, Border Collies also have a long coat. You can just kind of see, let's see. There's one with a long coat. Their coats do range a lot, but if you're just talking about like the standard black and white, then they have a longer coat, which means things get stuck in it more easily, which I'm not a huge fan of grooming. So that's something that led me down the cattle dog route as well. Even though I think Border Collies look awesome with the black and white collars, they're beautiful dogs. But kind of next going down my list of things too was drive. As you guys saw with, back to the Border Collie here when AKC was describing them, they're maxing out all of these boxes. And so now back to the HEELER. I just think in my experience, Border Collie is the one that's going to be dropping the ball at your feet constantly, nonstop, when you have guests over, whatnot, just absolutely having a hard time settling down. Granted, that comes with training. If you can train them to do that, that's great. I'm just talking about my experience with the dogs that I've met. They've been, like this kind of shows, maxing the charts out on all levels. And so I think HEELERs can be a little bit more composed sometimes. Don't get me wrong, they are not a low energy dog by any means. I just think they might be a step down from a Border Collie as far as intensity goes, which isn't really saying that much. They're both very intense dogs. So next for me was posture, which is kind of an interesting one. But Border Collies are always kind of like, if you've seen them work, they get really low. And they like stalk, almost like a lion stalking its prey, like a big cat, like this, except that's a cattle dog. He's just running. But if you guys have seen Border Collies work, you know what I mean. And their eye intensity is so crazy. It's cool to watch, but it's something that, I just wanted my dog to stand up straight. Like, just stand up straight, put your shoulders back, and be stocky and muscular. That's just kind of the look I prefer. Like, this is a great looking HEELER, just a little bit more durable looking, not always so like, I'm smarter than you. Like, Border Collies are just always locked in on something, it seems like, locked in on some type of target, whether they're hurting it, whether it's a ball, whether they're chasing something. They're just always looking. Their eyes are just so intense. But I would say those are kind of three things for me that led me towards a HEELER more than a Border Collie: their posture, their coats, and then their intensity levels. As far as their personalities go, they're both very, very clearly working dogs. They're both very just all business, I guess. Like, compared to other dogs that are just happy to run around the dog park, these two both want to play ball. They want to play fetch. Cowboy likes playing with other dogs if I take him places like that, but they both are definitely all business type breeds. Let's see if we can get some more pictures side by side here. It's showing a lot of Australian Shepherds. That's my other video comparison I did. Let's just look up straight Border Collies. Yeah, I want to show you guys a Border Collie working really quick. Oops. Like, let's see. This low look, like their heads are always low right here. They're kind of always stalking. And that's what they're supposed to do. That is how they're supposed to herd. But for me, I mean, like, they do this to you in the house and stuff. And I was just like, I just want my dog to stand up straight. So that was something that kind of pushed me towards a HEELER. But I mean, guys, look, these are, for how light frame they are tough dogs. And they absolutely need a job. Both of these breeds absolutely need a job. They're both extremely athletic. And look, here we go again. For me, this was a big factor. And I was just like, not sure if I want that. So just being completely honest. But debatably, I would say that Border Collies might even be the ultimate herding dog as far as like sheep, ducks, cows. Like, they are the most versatile in my opinion. They're the most common also from what I've seen as far as just, on actual ranches and stuff, just because I think probably they are the most versatile. If you're looking for a straight working dog, I've heard that you can send them a lot farther out to gather stock than cattle dogs. Cattle dogs stay a lot closer to you. But I mean, like a border collie is the ultimate working machine. Just realize that. And they're, I mean, just so smart. If they don't have a job, man, it's just kind of a waste of a dog, to be honest. They're just so capable. So are cattle dogs for sure. But I mean, look at these guys. They live for this. Both breeds live for this type of stuff. But yeah, I would say, you know, they're so smart and so adaptable that they herd different things better. Like I rarely see cattle dogs herding ducks or even sheep because they're such brutes about it. Whereas they do really well with cattle that they just kind of get in there and push. But, you know, border collies are very adaptable, very tactical almost in their herding tactics. So both awesome breeds. I ultimately chose a cattle dog because, you know, I think, you know, they're just a little bit, like I said, a notch down maybe as far as a lot of these intensity levels go. But again, both awesome breeds. If you want to do dog sports or anything like that, either would be awesome. So if you guys like this video, make sure you let me know what other breeds you'd like to see compared. You know, I know a lot about a different breeds, so especially comparing them against cattle dogs now that I've had one of those as well. I know a lot of you guys are here for heelers specifically. So make sure you hit subscribe, and we will be dropping more videos weekly. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.